Hi, guys. I am Via, and I'm going to be talking about my weight loss journey. I lost 50 pounds in a year, and I'm just going to talk about 3 tips that helped me along the way on my journey. Currently, I'm in maintenance, but it's still a journey. It still takes time. It's still a daily process, but I'll jump back to a year ago. The first topic, the moment I realized I couldn't stay there. Before I started my weight loss journey, how I felt was very uncomfortable. I was always tired. I didn't have a lot of energy. I couldn't keep up with my children. It just felt like I was always uncomfortable. And also, I was in pain. My knees were hurting, and there was just so much. It felt like the best way to describe it, it felt like I was in someone else's body. And I was like, this can't be healthy. This cannot be my end goal. Because prior to having children and lifing, I normally was always in shape. So being overweight, close to obese, was just something I was not comfortable with and not willing to accept. So that was the moment I realized, okay, I have to make a change for my life. The real final wake-up call, because as a lot of you know, dieting could go up and down. You try different diets. There's so many things out there that will tell you this works. You could drop 30 pounds in a week, or, there's so many different fad diets out there, but I knew I needed something that would change my lifestyle and I could continue this for the rest of my life, not just a quick fix. And my wake-up call was when my doctor told me, okay, your A1C level is really high, and if you don't watch it, you will be pre-diabetic. And from my past, just having family members in my past that suffered with diabetes, that was a red flag for me. I was like, that's something I do not want to ever have, and that's something that I'm going in the wrong direction. So I need to make a change. So that was the moment I realized I couldn't stay here. That's my first tip. That was my wake-up call. My second point, I stopped waiting for motivation to build discipline. I knew I had to make a change, and I knew that the weight didn't happen overnight. So I didn't expect it to leave overnight. So I had to be realistic and set smart goals. I had to tell myself, okay, what's a realistic number and goal I could get myself to in a good amount of time? So I told myself, okay, I'm going to give myself a year to learn my body, because I've been on weight loss journeys in the past and they were different each time. So this time I wanted to take it slow and build strong habits so that it could become a lifestyle, not just a quick fix, something that could carry on through the rest of my life. So that's when I realized, okay, something has to change ASAP. Then for my last tip, it changed more than just my body. Throughout the process, and I'll kind of go back to 2 and then ease into 3. Through the process, I learned what worked for me. In the past, I was a runner. I used to do HIIT workouts, but this last journey I was on, that didn't work for me because I had a knee injury. I had a lot of things that would hold me back. So what ended up working for me was low intensity cardio and strength training. So you have to learn what works for your body, because what works for one person is not going to work for another. And then the most important thing, dieting is 80% of the journey. What you eat will literally make or break the journey. So I had to learn to minimize the processed foods and stick to more whole foods and high protein foods. And till this day today, I still stick with high protein food because that keeps me satiated and keeps me on the journey. Especially like when you're working out and you're active, your appetite increases. So you want something that's going to build your momentum, and then you want something that's going to keep you full and satiated. And on that journey, once I get to step 3 and I finally lost the 50 pounds, over the year of the course by clean eating, sticking with the 80-20 rule, 80% diet, 20% working out. And I worked out maybe, let's say, I don't recommend it. Talk with your doctors first, okay? Because this is not medical advice. This is what I did. I started a little intense. I was working out every single day. Remind you, I was doing low intensity. So I was doing walking. My cardio was very low intensity. It wasn't very high. So I was able to do it daily for 30 minutes a day. And I kept that up for the first 6 months. And then slowly, gradually went down to 6 days a week. And then now 5 days a week. So do what works for your body and your schedule. And once I finally got past that hurdle and lost all of the weight, my progress, I felt was, some would say slow, some would say fast, but I felt it was a good speed for me, losing 50 pounds in a year, because I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel like I had to get to that deadline in 4 months or 5 months. I gave myself a year for trial and error. And I will be honest, it was a lot of trial and error. So you will learn your body, your new ways, your new habits along the way of that journey that will sustain you for the rest of your life. And now the step back to step 3, it changed more than my body. Once I lost the 50 pounds, I now feel so much better, so much healthier. When I went to my doctors not too long ago, my A1C levels were back normal, actually really good. So that was my wake-up call that I needed to change my lifestyle. And now I'm back running and my knee is healed. So I feel really good about that. And I'm just super excited that I'm a new and improved version of myself. I can't say I'm the old person, because the old person was someone that was of the past. So this new person, I have a greater appreciation for her, because I've been through a lot and I've had children, and life sometimes. So just being able to get back on my feet, get back to a healthy BMI was definitely mind-changing and mind-blowing for me, because there were doubts. But through the doubts, I just kept pushing through. So if there's one tip I could really give outside of these 3 is just stay consistent, just keep going. And if you fall off, don't feel like that's the end of the world. Just pick back up that next meal or that next day and say, hey, I fell off this time, but I'm going to keep going because I have goals. And refer back to your goals and know your why, because your why is going to sustain you through the process. And I'll share my why. My why was I didn't want to become pre-diabetic. And on top of that, I want to live to see my children's children and be healthy and be able to play and keep up with them. So those were my whys. So whatever your whys are, stick to that, and that'll help you along the journey when it gets tough and you don't feel motivated and you just want to give up, because doubt will be there at the door, but you're going to have to overcome that with discipline and consistency. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And definitely, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them below and I'll get to them. And until next time, take care of yourself, and I'll be talking with you in the future. Bye for now.